All right, everyone. In this video, we're going to talk about something that a lot of our new clients think about is the market getting saturated. And they think this because, well, one, if you don't have a marketing background, it's very easy to just go, okay, the market is saturated. That's why things are not working. All right. And especially our clients, they see me keep scaling and there's more new members and more new members. And I'm trying to get up. Right now, we have around 250 members. I'm trying to get to 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. I'm trying to really scale this to as far as I could take it. And then the new clients join. I'm like, oh man, am I too late? Is there too many funding companies now? Is the market saturated, right? So that's the word that they always use. And I just want to just give you an overview of what is the thought process I will have if I think the market is saturated. All right. So one of the first things that you will do is do market research on the actual market, like how big is the market. So we do market research, right? And we could look at this two ways, right? Because we are servicing business owners, and we could service we could so what I'm trying to say is that we could look at two different audiences. We could look at the new business owners, and we could look at small business owners or established businesses, right? So I was just doing simple research on Google, like just pretty much just a simple ask, right? And one of the questions I asked Google was how many new LCs or new entrepreneurs are established every single year. And well, I'm not gonna say every year, but on average, right, since 2020, there's about 4.7 million businesses started every year. That's LLC being filed and stuff like that. So we have about let's just run it out to, yeah, 4.7 million a million look at me dollar new business started every single year. That is a very big pool. 4 million businesses every single year. Amazing. And this could be one person starting 7 LLCs. That's a definitely possibility. But hey, if you have one person that opens up 7 LLCs, you can fund every single LLC and you can just increase LTV that way. Now let's look at, this is new businesses. Now let's look at small businesses. And as in 2023, there's about 33 million small businesses across the US, the US, right? So we have above 30 million small business already established businesses, and we have about 4 million, or almost 5, starting new every year. So we have over 30 million small businesses and about 4 million new LLCs and business owners every single year. That's a huge market. So this is the thing that you have to look at. How big is the market? Because I see so many funding companies, is the market saturated? Okay. Now we could also look at how many members is in the community. Like I said, we have about right now 250 members, and this will be like every member joining. It's around 200 here, little things, but right? So let's say we have 200 members, and you're this guy right here. You're the last one to join my program. You're the 250th member, and you're like, oh man, did I get did I get to the boat way too late? And just also for data purposes and for you to understand it, from our experience, 1 out of 20 clients makes it to 50K plus. Below that, they're stuck between 20 or 30, maybe 40K months. But what I have seen, 1 out of 20 clients truly makes it to 50K months consistently, right? Not in one time, consistently 50K months, and it scales to 100, 200. Hell, we have even clients doing 500, 300K per month, right? So 1 out of 20. That's not a lot of people. You may think that everybody here is your competition, but no, your actual competition is the 20 or 25 clients that are actually spending, which is, this is a very low amount, about $500 a day. They're still not even spending large amounts. Okay, so that's about the competition that you the actual market that you, or your competition you actually have. So from a pool of 4 million new business owners a year, we have about 20 or 25 savages marketing to them in this group. So let's add another 50 that are not in this group. That's from over here. That's why I have this graph right here. This is the funding companies in my group. All right. And this is the funding companies that are not ATMM members, which honestly, this is a bit too much. I don't know personally. I do see a lot of funding companies. Here I put like an extra 50. I don't even think there's an extra 50. There's probably like an extra 25 to be honest. But let's just be extra, whatever. And let's add 50 in there. So we have about 50 that are in the group, right? 25 in the group, and another 50. So that's around 75 companies, right? All marketing to that the audience that we're talking about, that 30 million, 30 member audience or business owner audience, and the 4 million new ones, right? But let's say for just for fuck it purposes, let's add another 75 business 0% funding companies in there. So now we have about 150, and this is me just being extra and just adding shit just for it could be like, oh wow, just to be overwhelmed. Like let's push it. Right now we have about 150 0% funding companies marketing to your exact avatar. 150 companies, right? Saying the exact thing that you're saying. Are you a 0% funding company? I mean, I'm sorry. Are you a business owner with a 700 plus credit score? I started saying Matt Ad. I'm so sorry. Are you a business owner with a 700 plus credit score that wants access to 0% funding? Right now, we have 150 of those companies all marketing to them. And what I want to tell you guys is that it's 150 0% funding company marketing to 4 million new businesses a year, plus the 30 small businesses that already existing. You have a lot of like the ocean is vast. You still have a blue ocean. This is why I always tell people, when you switch your credit company into a funding company, a credit company, you're in the red ocean. Everybody and their mother has, that's a saturated market, because everybody that thinks they're an entrepreneur, one of the first, but not everybody, just people in the industry, that are financial industry, they go to credit repair because it's so easy to start a credit repair company. It's not too hard. You fix your uncle's, you remove your uncle's or your grandpa's hard inquiry, and you think you have a credit repair company, and then you start charging now people like $100 a month, and then that's your competition right there. That's why funding is a more bluer ocean, because it's harder industry to get in and more intimidating, but it actually is nice, a lot easier, and I'm telling you, it's night and day different running a credit company and funding company. So much smoother because it's a lot more profits, better audience to deal with. I'm not gonna get into it right now. It's a whole other video that we could talk about. But you have about 150 0% funding company targeting about 4 million new business owners a year and 30 small businesses. So you have a blue ocean there. You have a blue ocean to market to, right? And let me just show you more numbers in my personal experience. So in this ad campaign, I spent around $71,000. I got 1 million impressions. Impressions, if you don't know what that is, this is people who slightly glared into the ad. They probably just like swiped it with a thumb, right? They just saw it for a millisecond. This is what impressions are. So now actually people are viewing your ads, just impressions. So $71,000 dollars I spent on this campaign to do 1 million impressions. And again, impressions are just people who slightly saw your ad. And this interest, I use a small business owner's interest, which that interest has an audience size of 37 million to 43 million. Right? Which kind of correlates with how many small business owners there are. This is kind of telling you already. And this audience size is about 30, let's just average it to 40 million. And for my impressions, and again, impressions, it's just a slight glance of the ad. They didn't even pay attention. They just saw it, it just landed on their feed, and they just kept scrolling up. I only did 1.789 million impressions. I didn't even get to 40. And again, these are not views; these are impressions. This is a very, very important thing. You gotta make a difference, difference between them. And in that $71,000 in ad spend, it brought me in total of $820,000 in rev, right? So I spent $71,000 in ads, and I made $820,000, right? And this is in about, I think, 3 or 4. Yeah, this is 3 months. Yeah, so yeah, it's about 3 months. So in 3 months, we did $820,000, and I spent around $71,000. So that's just more numbers of just the impression and how much room you have. The thing that is happening is that you are in this very large lake, and the lake is very, very large and is very deep, right? The problem is that this is you're watching other fishermen and other people in the boats, right, fishing. And you think because you can see other boats fishing in your exact spot, you're like, okay, there's no fish here. There's too many boats, there's too many fishermen, because you can see them. And the reason why you can see them, because we all advertise them in social media. We're all saying pretty much the same thing. We are targeting the same avatar, that the market is saturated. But what you don't know is that this lake might look small, but it's very, very, very deep, miles deep, right? And there's so many fish that the life down there is in abundance. Everybody there has, in that lake, there's this corals everywhere. It's beautiful. There's so much life in this lake, in the bottom of this lake. That's why leads keep coming up to here, and we have so many people trying to fish and trying to get rich of this lake, right? And I'm telling you, we're in the early days of this. We're in the early days of funding companies being the drop shipping thing, or everybody's buying Section 8. We're in the early days of this. That's why I'm one of the only people promoting this. And if it wasn't true, I would have been seeing people promoting funding companies, but there's not really a lot. This is a very brand new product, especially the way that I did it, that we're masking our funding company as a consulting company, right? Because that's truly what we are. We're not really providing the funds to these businesses. We're the middleman. We're telling a company, hey, according to their profile and the things that you have, I could put you in contact with this bank, and this bank will give you funded this much. And that's why it's such a profitable business. We're operating almost at a 54% profit margins, okay? So now, Javi, if the market is not saturated, then what is happening? And this is what the thing that you're getting confused. That is, the market is not really getting saturated, right? So before we go through, okay, is the market being saturated or not? What exactly is saturated? A saturated market is when the supply of the product or service is greater than the demand, and the market growth has stagnated. This can happen when multiple businesses in the same industry offer similar product or service, which, yes, we are adding servicing similar products and serving. But the key part to this sentences or this paragraph is the first sentences. A saturated market when the supply, product, service is greater than the demand. That has yet to happen. And I don't think we ever will, because the oldest business in the book is money lending. I'm just trying to buy $1 and sell it for $2. We're like humans and businesses borrowing debt to grow their business or their life, or whatever it may be. It's not going to go away anytime soon. So the demand is there. The supply has yet to meet the demand. We're not there yet. So we're not in a saturated market, right? And one of the reasons why I don't like saying, oh, it's in a saturated market, is that if we do go with the philosophy of it's a saturated market, the real problem is that you have no control of your business now. By you saying, okay, it's a saturated market, you're fucked. What are you going to do? The market is saturated. We're in a red ocean. There's a bunch of sharks. Everybody's eating each other. There is no room for even to break bread. I need to get the hell out of here, or I'm going to starve and die, right? So that is the problem. I'm looking at it, okay, it's a saturated market, because then you lost control of your business and there's nothing you could do. Now, the other philosophy is not a saturated market, it's a competitive market. So we're doing competition. Now, you could say, hey, Javi, isn't that the same thing? It's different. Remember, when it's saturated, the demand, the supply took over the demand. There's way more supply than demand. That is not the same as competition or being competitive. What is competition? A generally defined situation where two or more revivers are against one another, pretty much one another, in a style of goal or objective, generally resulting in the victor or the loser. You can do this. You can see this in sports and all this stuff. But it's just being more competition. What I'm trying to say, it's just more competition, not more saturation, right? And competition is healthy for the market, because competition means you got to get better. And if you go into the school philosophy of competition and it's a competitive market, right? Now you have control. Which control, when you have full control, that means we could improve. When we have no control, we can't do shit, and that's the real problem. That's why I don't get comfortable with the idea, oh, it's a saturated market, because that means that you're done. You have no control of your business, and you truly are done. So when you say it's a competitive market, right, you have full control and full responsibility. Now, a lot of you might not want to hear this, because now you're like, oh, fuck, that means it's up to me to get better. Yes. And now is the true core of the problem why you say it's a saturated market and not a competitive market. Because it's a school of philosophy. If you say it's a saturated market, you have no control and you do nothing. Oh, I'm just going to move on to the next thing. Now, if you say it's a competitive market, your brain changes, because if it's competitive, where are you going to go? Okay, how can I become better? Right? And that is the true framework that you should have, and the true philosophy you should have when it comes to this. I'm in a competitive market. Now, what do we do next? Okay, I'm in a competitive market. That means you got to start asking yourself these questions. How can I be better? That is the main thing. When you realize I'm in a competitive market, or I'm in a competitive role, or I'm in a competitive job, or I'm in a competitive task, you got to start asking yourself, okay, well, how can I get better? if I'm being competitive, right? How can I be better? Now, more specific, how can I market myself better? How can I build more trust? How can I be a better closer? How can I increase LTV without much effort, like getting into partnerships or there may be? How can I get my clients faster and better results for my clients? This is very important because if you can increase the time of your clients getting the results of the desired results or better results, right? Now you're the competition. The people are comparing yourself to you. Now you're the competition. People are afraid to be and compete with you because you're so good. The product is so good. You're like everything is just so much better than everybody else. Now you become the person that people are being compared to. Now this is very difficult to do, but this is the reality of it. You can you can adopt two schools of thought. Hey, we're in a saturated market and I do nothing, and I guess I'm just gonna be mediocre. Or we're in a competitive market, right? We're in a competitive market, which means you're in full controls, which means you got to start becoming a better entrepreneur. And that might not be the answer for everybody because not everybody wants to become better at marketing. Not everybody wants to build more trust online. Not everybody wants to build an actual brand that lasts for a long time. Not everybody wants to get faster results for their clients because they don't give three shits. Not everybody wants to sit down and be like, how can I partner up with different companies and increase LTV without me putting much effort if I can increase leverage on my company. Not everybody wants to do these things. Not everybody wants to review every single sales call they took and be like, what am I doing wrong? And how can I get to a better closing rate? Not everybody wants to do that. So this is when you become competitive, this naturally happens. And this is the reason why I believe if you just have this goal and this philosophy, you will naturally get to the numbers that you want. Okay, so is the market saturated? No, it's not saturated. Is it gonna get more competitive? Yes, and it is gonna get more competitive because as I begin to continue to scale, now we have 250 members. Then soon we're gonna have, let's say, 1,000 members, and we have 1,000 members copying each other to the T. Like literally speaking the same, wearing the same, which I keep pushing not to do. You gotta be unique. You gotta push who you are inside your marketing because that nobody could copy and is non-duplicatable. That's how you beat competition, be better than everybody else, and be more authentic than everybody else. So what do? You gotta just become better. You gotta become better. You gotta do better. And if you're a better salesman, then expect to get better results. If you're a better marketer, expect to get better results. If you're a better appointment setter, expect to get better results. And that's all it is. Now, if you're mediocre and you've been getting mediocre through your whole life, then expect to get mediocre results. And it's not because the market is saturated. It's because you're doing the exact same thing as everybody. And you're copying everybody to a T. So when you have a client, right? They say client out of nowhere. Let's say we have a client, and this client right here, this C that is considered a client. Let me put him in a different color. Let's say he's green, right? Because he's gonna pay you. This client, they need funding, right? And they look at all these companies, right? They're noticing that 10 or 20 companies right here, they look very unique. They look different from everybody else. They still see you and everybody else, but they feel like everybody looks the same. Everybody's asking the same DM questions. Everybody has the same BSL. Everybody has the same exact ads, right? So they're like, hey, why would I go with somebody that's doing everything the same? Let me go with somebody like this person, like because they look like they have a personality. They're showing their lifestyle. They're showing this. I'm gonna go with this person because I relate with this person better. Right? So that's what you gotta start thinking about. What do you want my clients to look at me? What do I want my brand to be? How can I improve not only my skills as a business owner, but the process of my clients, right? Because you have so much room to grow. That is the reason one of our clients joined us about 11 months ago is now doing $400,000 to $500,000 every single month, and he doesn't know shit about funding. How is that possible? Because there's room to grow. There's room to grow, but you have to make it happen. You have to make it happen. If you just stagnate and you do everything nonchalant and mediocre, and you be part of the 19 people that are joining our company, and this, even though they're making 20K a month, hey, 20K a month is beautiful. I'm not knocking it. If you want to make 10 to 20K a month, by all means, but whatever. But if you want to take it to that next level of 50, 100, 200, 300K months, you got to start being competitive. You got to start standing out. How do you say now? Be a better marketer, be a better salesman, be a better closer, have a better product, Those are the things you gotta start thinking about. Because I'm giving you all the systems, I'm giving you all the blueprints, I'm giving you all the coaching, I'm giving you guys everything. But with something that I can't give you is build the business for you. I mean, I do build the business for you. I operate it for you. I'm sorry. I can't give you the results for you. I can't take the sales cost for you. I can't do the appointment for you. I can't do no those things because at the end of the day, if I'm running your business, might as well just keep scaling mine. And what is the point of me helping you grow your business if I gotta operate the whole thing? I could just keep operating my business, just keep hiring and do the same thing. It doesn't make sense for me. So you guys got to start realizing, yes, even though you buy a business in a box and you guys buy all this infrastructure, all this data, and all this information, you're fully responsible in a competitive market. In a saturated market, honestly, my belief, even in a saturated market, you're gonna win because guess what market I'm in, everyone? I'm in the marketing. I'm in a very saturated market of marketing. Everybody in the mother has an agency. Everybody in the mother says, I'm gonna get you more leads. I'm gonna get you more results. I'm in a very saturated market. Right? I have people from the other side of the world competing with me. I have people in Europe competing with me, people in Australia. I literally have people in the other side of the world competing with me because they provide leads for businesses. Right? But how come I'm able to charge 25, 50 grand, 100 grand in a very, very competitive market? Why? Because I became better than my competition. I became niche down. I became more narrow. I started providing more value. I started getting better results. I started improving not only my product, but our clients' results in their own company. Most companies that come to me with help, they're barely a business. They think they're their business. They think they have things figured out until we show them all the infrastructure that we have. They're like, oh, fuck, I'm missing all of this. Okay? So this is the how you get better. If you're in a competitive market, good. That means you're in a blue ocean and you could grow, right? So how you gonna grow? You gotta become better. That's literally simple as that. Just becomes better, and I promise you, you'll beat every single client that I keep closing and coming. You'll beat them, and you'll be ahead of them because you're not looking at every single client that I'm closing in. You're looking at yourself and comparing yourself. How do I get to the next level? And if you're yourself at your own ceiling, and now that every time I close somebody, or every time 300 people, 400 people, 500 people join my program, and you just focus on, I'm just going to destroy the competition by being better than everybody else, I'm telling you, everybody else is fucked. And there's enough there's enough ocean, enough of the market that we could have 100, 200 you guys doing 300K per month. I guarantee it. Just because the fact of that I said there's about 4 million new LLCs created every single year, and here's the thing. For you to do $300,000 every single month, you got to close at least 54 sales at 6K a pop, right? So let's do some simple math. If we want to have 200 companies doing $300,000 every single month, right? That will be around, let's say, 54 clients times 200. That's about 10,000 clients a month. 10,000 clients times 12. We have 130,000 clients and this is not, my group is nowhere near close to it. Like I said, we only have about 20 to 25 people actually just making 50 and above, and then we have like 2 or 3 guys that are doing above 300K. If 200 funding companies are doing 300K, moving about 50 units per month, we only have about 130 new business owner that we funded a year. There's 4 million new one being created. We're not even scratching this. We're not even at 1% of the 4 million. So I want everyone to realize that the market is there and there's huge potential of growth, especially when we start going to different verticals. Because right now we're only offering 0%, but I promise you that once you figure out the 0% and you're really doing 200, 300K per month, you're going to start hitting a ceiling. And then a way for you to scale and increasing LT is by increasing LTV. And how you do it? By looking at different verticals like MCAs, hard money, and looking at different loans that you can provide for your client. So instead of charging 8K to 10K, now we're charging 20K, 30K, whatever it may be. Okay, this is how you get to the $35 million a year. There's different funding companies out there that if you do your research are doing $35, $25 million per year. They offer different products or funding, but they're doing those numbers. So it's definitely possible. You need to know what is the market, what is actually possible, and how long it will take you to get there. If it takes you 5 years to make 30 grand, 30 mil a year, then by all means, figure out little by little. In your first year, you can easily get it to 200 to 300K per month. I did it, and multiple clients have done it. So you could do that in a year. Hell, in 6 months, you can get to 0 all the way to 150. You could definitely do it. The market is not saturated. It's just becoming more competitive because everybody's doing the exact same thing. All right. So all you got to do is change a little bit, be a little bit more unique, show your personality, show who you are, go to make content, go to YouTube, go to podcasts, stand out. And I promise you, your clients will naturally gravitate towards you without doing much effort.